Last talk of the day comes from me, it's about something. It is a bit of a lecture. I apologise, but it's not really a lecture. It's going to be a bit of a workshop, but not really a workshop either, and a bit of a discussion as well. And it's about an idea that we've had going on, and actually, it's even just during this day, it's become even more relevant because we've had a lot of talks today, really excellent talks about various different aspects of things. And this is an idea that we've come up with recently, which I think would be quite interesting. But I'm going to put it forward as a sort of instead of going straight into it, I'm going to talk about a sort of scenario before I go start anything else. One of the things that we started looking at is that we do balloons. Now balloons are sort of, it's not a remote sensing in the sense of using a signal to work out what's going on. It's about putting sensors in remote places. Our balloon payloads are sensors, aren't they, really? You know, that we have their position with GPS and everything else, but they're also temperature, and they're also pressure, and they measure things, and we're doing science with it at the same time. And one of the advantages we have of the balloons is the line of sight and our radio tracking system, and it's, you know, you just point up in the air, and there you go, that's the signal. A group of people within the community thought, well, why don't we do sea buoys? You know, why don't we launch something out to sea, and see what happens, you know, and let it drift around and measure temperature and pressure and all the same things again and get it back. And the team did do that really, really well. Do you guys ever follow the Kraken? Yeah, so that was put in the sea and it went around and around, and someone stole it in Scotland. But the point was that used a satellite modem to communicate the information back, because obviously we didn't have the line of sight. The radio system didn't work. And so there's a high altitude IRC channel that we use. There's actually a sea level IRC channel that we use as well. Not got that many people on it, I must admit, but it's there. And occasionally, once every 2 months, someone goes, "Oh, why don't we do this?" And we go, "Yeah, that sounds like a great idea." And nothing ever happens. But the whole idea of this sort of this is not just about balloons. This is about sensing remote areas. It became a bit of an interesting idea, and with increasing interest in the community about with AKRS and amateur radio, we thought about, well, that's really interesting. How do I get into AKRS? For you people who don't know what AKRS is, it's a packet radio system that's set up by amateurs, run by amateurs. It was designed actually with a lot of things planned. When it was made, there was lots of ideas for it being disaster management, for communication with messages. Truthfully, it's now a system of position and repeaters, is my experience of it all. And a little bit of that is the way that actually it was obviously a hole that wants to be filled. So lots of people perhaps have an APRS tracker in their car, and they want, and it pings off the local repeaters, which could be anybody, or any amateur radio person involved with that through a license. But also balloons. We've all seen balloons on an APRS network. There's an excellent APRS mapping system, APRS.fi. The guy who runs that is occasionally on the channel if you ever have any ideas and want to add things. They've borrowed a few of our ideas. If you've seen about balloons, that they've got some of the circles, the horizon circles they've added on. Yeah, he asked, don't worry. But it's a nice idea. And we thought, well, could we use APRS for our sea buoys? And the answer is maybe, but it's a bit complicated because there's licensing issues about, is it maritime, is it not maritime, if the sea, there's various complications of things. But it's a good idea, and it's a nice idea. And the other thing that sort of drew us on was that I'm living over in Kent. Someone else, like Phil, or someone else, Phil's actually outside, but lives over in sort of towards the Southampton gang. Is there a chance we could ever communicate via radio or something on those lines? And the answer is maybe. You could do it off a satellite. It's one of the ones you could use an amateur radio satellite to do that. We could try and do HF, but if anybody's ever done high frequency stuff, it's a bit of a, who knows what's going to happen. So we thought, well, why don't we set up a sort of packet radio system that works for us, that is built with the thought of balloons, balloon as in, upon the balloon community, uses technology that we know about well, but also realise that a lot of people involved don't have an amateur radio license, don't necessarily need or want one, and it's not part of what they sort of do. And so we thought, well, let's just try and work something out, with the scenario being that I'm going to launch a Seaboy, it's going to float around. Wouldn't it be cool if I could communicate to that via a balloon? As in, it's floating in the sea, it's got no line of sight, I don't know where it is. I launch a balloon up, the balloon has a large coverage, and it picks up its signal and relays it back to us. Now, the reason why this is really quite exciting, even just today, is that we've talked about this today already with the $50 sat. That's exactly what they're doing, just in its own way, and it's a different way. So, this is where UKHASnet was invented or designed, and it's not just by me, I'm just doing the presentation, there are loads of people involved with this. What we want to do, and it's a bit of a key theme for this, is it needs to be simple. Really simple. Really, really, really simple. So what we did was we based it upon a single idea, which was, it doesn't matter what we're using to communicate with, it's all about the protocol. I know that sounds a bit strange. So that is it. This is a simple packet format. We've invented a simple packet format. We made it up. We made it up taking inspiration from various formats we've seen. All it is text, numbers and letters, but with a few little bits to make it a bit easier to work with in the future. Like before people say, oh, but isn't that really, really too simple? Why don't we do this? Why don't we do that? Why don't we add this in and why don't we add that? No, that's bad. It makes things worse. But the point is it's meant to be is built upon, and it's actually an experiment, and this is meant to be fun. And that's the other thing about this, is it was just an experiment, but it's become a bit more than that. So in our packet, I will go through it a bit more in a minute, but the point about it is that there is a bit here, a 3 and a B, okay? Then there's a section here of data, and then at the end, we've got these brackets, square brackets, and then some letters with a comma in between. And if I was to tell you that the originating node, or the person transmitting it, is that AC, okay? Every time the packet is repeated, they add on their name at the back, at the end. In APRS, you could have put it in the middle, at the front, in the middle, with various things. I'll go through this a bit more, but the point about it is that's really simple, and it's human readable as well. And that's an interesting one about psychology, which is, I don't think you'd expect to get a talk like this, but I'll talk about it in a minute. So, this is what we sort of said it would be. It's going to be low powered. Low powered for many reasons, but low powered because we want it to be license exempt, so we're going to use frequencies that we can use, that are available to us, that often are low powered. Also, in this day and age, low power can be done pretty easily. And the other thing about it is that it's cheap and doesn't get in the way of other people as much. And the other thing about low power is batteries and voltages and various things like that. If we can run at low powers, we can don't need as much. We can make our things run for longer. They can run on solar panels, various things like that. Cheap modules. There are lots of cheap modules in the world, but now increasingly. But that's one thing. We want it to be multi-platform. We don't need to worry about. It can be done on many different systems depending on what you enjoy working with, and a simple routing protocol. And when I say simple, it's something like perhaps actually lacks a protocol from that point of view, but it doesn't really need one. So, the inspiration, as I said before, was from APRS, which is a really big network, a massive network. We can track balloons around the world up in the sea with this APRS. But we also were inspired by the work that we had already done on our high altitude balloon tracking system, which a lot of you are involved with. There's always these extra things like XBs, ZigBees, you've probably seen these around, people have them around their homes about sort of wireless sensor networks. Then there's the 6-lane, I think you know how to pronounce that one, is it 6-lane Wi-Fi? Basically, it's the concept of using low-powered mesh wireless networks, a bit like your ZigBees and what we do as well, with TCP/IP networking across it. It's a bit complicated, but something we do. And I don't know why, but always, whatever I'm trying to work out, why do I do balloons? I do it just for the fun of it. But in the back of my mind, I always say, oh, maybe we're inventing something special here. Maybe it's for disaster management or a situation. It's a bit like what Dan spoke about today with the Google Loon guys. They're going to do this and that and that. But actually, it's also really cool and really fun. So that's the inspiration. Oh, my pictures didn't come up. I knew this would happen if I moved laptops. That's not very helpful, is it? Alright, okay, so, never mind, we'll work this out. I can do it. I was animating more with my voice and me. So, the first idea, and just ignore the boxes of random things, it's obviously not working, was to have a local network. So, in your house, you have some nodes around your house. And they can be measuring temperature or something like that. And you can stick one outside, they measure stuff outside, and you measure stuff. And it relays it back to a base station. But it really doesn't work at all. Never mind. The next thing we could do is we could do a local network. So I live down the road, you live over there, we'll have a network together. You know, my data goes to your data, you share it with me. Great. The next thing to do, I'll start, that's alright, okay, getting there, would be to have a UK-based network. So my local network is in Kent, that's where I live. Someone's local network is in Southampton. How do we get them to communicate? We launch a balloon. The balloon, as we know, can see both of them, and therefore act as a point. A bit like when Stuart was using the kite to sort of put that extra high relay in place. Really looks bad without the rest of it. But we get a lot of line of sight. You know, we could launch a really high balloon and get that now. That'd be great. And that way, for a very short period of time, our networks will communicate. Yeah, you can argue why bother? Why? You know, we've got the internet here. We don't need to do this ourselves. But there is an element of that's because we can do it. But also, and it's cool. But also, as I say, going back to disaster management, the internet, you know, might break. Maybe. Usually Phil's done it. I blame Phil for most internet breakages. And then, you know what's going on there now. Never mind. Then we could do a long duration balloon. Now, this is a good chance for me to talk about, let's say a long duration balloon is going across the Atlantic. And it drifts out of contact of our radio network. What's our radio range? We get about, 500 kilometers for most people get that sort of range before it starts getting out off the horizon. Well, why don't we launch another balloon? And then they can talk to each other, because they're going to both have their radio horizons, aren't they? So they can talk A to B and then down. But that's going to only go, say, 1,000 kilometers or 1,500 kilometers. So why don't we then launch another balloon, which will act in there, so we get 1, 2, 3. And then we can add another one, 1, 2, 3, 4. And before you know it, we're going all the way across. Now, this reminds me of the slide we had this morning where they were doing Wi-Fi networks for Churchill in New Zealand, where they're like, oh, there's one, there's another, okay? So this is what I was looking at for this. Could this be done? Now, so the rules we came up with, and these are like sort of the rules of defining it, and it's very simple. All packets are unreliable. Yeah? Once you say that, it makes life so much easier. Packets are transmitted. Who cares if they turn up? I don't really care. They're just sensor data. No one really matters really much. Obviously, in a disaster, it would matter, but now it doesn't matter. Data should be human readable. And this is a really strange thing that I've got a theory about, and it is almost a whole talk about the psychology behind tracking balloons. But when every year we have talks about binary stuff, we have the DSP guys saying, well, actually, why are we doing it this way? It makes no sense. If we put all these extra things in, it would be so much more efficient. Yet, even though we've got a few attempts at that, we always seem to go back to the same thing. People like to read the information. They like to go, oh, that number's changed. They like graphs as well and maps, but they like to actually, there's something about it. There's something involving about the whole thing. And that's one of the things about this community is that we do a hobby which is involving. And a lot of that is because you can read the information. And that's a big part of things. So that's one of the rules. It actually makes the whole system much worse, but it also makes it much more engaging to work with. Now, if possible, each node should repeat a receive packet. It's like a sort of share it on, pass it on concept that goes around these days. If you got a packet, give it on, move it on. That's fine. And when repeating a packet, we want to know who did it. So you add on to the end your ID of the node, and also there's a hop value, and that was the number right at the beginning, and that's how many hops. That's to stop crazy loops occurring. It's the limit how far the packet can go before it just keeps going round and round and round. The other thing to add in is that it's suggested that your nodes check the IDs to make sure they haven't done this before, because if not, you might get into a bit of a loop where you're like packet receive packet, between, and before you know it, it's the spectrum is rather impressively blurred with lots of packets of the same packet going round and round and round again. So, that was the first thing to do. The next thing we thought about was, what could we include in this? So we went for a location. readable. We don't want to draw a string of numbers, we want to make it clear. So we thought, well, why don't we've got time, we can do this. Why don't we have a location one with an L starting with an L? So you look for an L, if there's an L, after that it's going to be the location. And we thought, well, let's get some degrees and various things like that. We got some amplitude and various things like that. Then we thought, well, voltages are quite a good one to record. So V, T for temperature, H for humidity, R for ISI, comma for custom text, which will come into action later. And then if you've got multiple sensor values, you could do T 5.5, comma 4.3. If you've got other, if it's multiple things, maybe it's internal sensor and external sensor. So, as I said, the UKHASnet is just a protocol, but it needs to be tested. So we thought, well, let's use something that we can do. And so we actually went for something a bit out of the box for the UK. And we chose 869.500 megahertz as our thing. So it's not the normal frequency we'd use. And with that, we can do 500 milliwatts of power. But we are limited by 10% duty cycle within the rules we can do for licensing sounds. Based upon, we initially thought about what radio modules could we use. The RFM22 has been the workhorse for quite a while, and a lot of things we can do, but actually it's end of life now. They're not making any more of those modules. You can still buy them, but they're not going to make any more. And we felt that if we were inventing this amazing new revolutionary thing, we shouldn't really choose something that won't be available in a year's time. We should get the latest thing. And that's the RFM69HW. H is high power. There's a low one as well. It's cheap. It can do 100 milliwatts, which is we've seen that before. SPI. And then we thought, well, as you said, UKHASnet is a protocol. It's a format of even just in text. So we'll put it on top of one of the RFM69's basic protocols, which is using FSK 2000 bits and a 6000 Hz shift. A little bit different to what we used to though. This is just experimental. Will this work? On a local scale, yes, it works. I can tell you that now. I've got one running at home. I've got a node outside on solar panels running for 6 months. It dies at 9, 10, 7 in the morning, but it still works. And we've got a number of little networks around. Will it work on the scale that we're talking about? Yeah, why not? Our balloons seem to work just fine. $50 that has been pointed out works really well. And it uses a similar packet format, but we're in the same sort of area for that. What are the advantages of doing it to the way we're doing it already? Well, we can use 100 milliwatts versus 10 milliwatts and that's because we're using the 869 megahertz band. Yeah, sorry. It's got a low noise floor, and that is really quite true. 434, your key fobs, your water meter, everything runs on that as well. The packets we're going to use are short, but the disadvantage is that it's a higher frequency. There's an increased path loss from it as well. We know that. It's fine. So, how do we make a node? Well, we need a radio module, we need a microprocessor, we need a power supply. Everything else is optional. But sensors, GPS, text. And then antenna, we could use wire, like a quarter wave ground plane, which people are used to, a Moxon antenna, a Yagi, you name it, we can do anything with that. And we can use the amateur radio expertise that we have in antenna, workers to do that. Power supply. Power supply is the big thing with all this. There's USB, there's off the wall, off AC, but via obviously a converter. Batteries, solar panels. Solar panels can be directly via solar panels with batteries, super caps. Other sustainable sources, we get a wind, water, you name it, we can run it off that. And the advantages of using low power. So, here's an example node that I've made. So the first nodes we built were with AVRs and we used Arduinos for them. But for a sort of project of my own, I decided to use a ARM processor, which if you've been there, they've been talking about this there. But I did it properly, not with all these big STM32 Cortex M4s. I chose an 8-pin. You see it over there? They're cute, aren't they? Yeah. So this is what it cost me for my node. So it's £3.65 for my radio module. It's 98p for my microprocessor. There's a regulator, which is on there. There are some caps, which I hadn't thought along at that point. And then there's a small PCB as well.
Sorry, can I have my invigilators? That's you, Dave, and you, Phil. Sorry, you were volunteered. Whether we knew about it or not.
So the total is £6.12 for this node, I think. And with this node, I can expand my network quite nicely. just to talk about the LPC 810, that was the little cheap one. It's got 8 pins. It runs at 30 megahertz. It's quite an interesting thing. You give everyone have a play with something that's a bit different, and it's got all these different features as well. And it's, as I said, 94p. But it's a lot of what they talk about next door can't be run on that, but the ideas can be. So, I'm proposing a suggested network, which is going to cost you £6 at a time, maybe even cheaper if you've got spare parts lying around. What's it for? Well, it's for expanding things. As I said, it is a sensor network data sort of concept, but it's also things like I could type a bit on one thing and it could go to over somewhere else. The point about it is that it's available for everyone to get involved with. You don't need to have a license for it. It's all, it's open to everybody. There are limits. It's low power. It won't work very long distances. But then we take advantage of that and use our balloon experience to do this. So you could build your own node. You could run a gateway, which is a gateway is one that forwards all the data it collects onto the internet. And we've got one running outside right now with some various nodes lying around. You could launch a balloon node, and we're working towards it in the next 2 weeks. We're going to launch a balloon node to see whether this actually works from a technological point of view. I know I've come to you today without actually testing the system, but we'll give it a go and see if that works. We started the IRC channel, and we find that sort of helps development if you've got that thing. And we've got a wiki as well, various things like that, and there's software as well. We've got some suggested guidelines if you do want to get involved with this. We need to stick to the rules. We don't want to become, the bad, I don't know actually, no mind. But the point is that we stick to the rules. So we do stick to the max powers, the duty cycles, the frequency. We should be avoiding interference. We're not the bosses of the what's going on. We're secondary to everything else. We also please only place your nodes in positions, places you're allowed to have them. Don't climb your neighbour's tree and then get asked why you're putting radio transmitters in people's trees. It's not going to look good. And balloon launchers obviously operate with permission. And here are a few links to what's going on. We've got website and various things like that from that point of view. And there's lots of code lying around for any you name it. We pretty much written code for it to work on most things now. These RFM69 modules aren't actually available in the UK very easily, but there is some. We have got eBay, and also there's a stock that you get in the Netherlands as well. So I've actually got, if people are interested in getting involved, I've got some spare nodes that I've been building, which I'm happy to give away. You sort of have to promise it's going to be a good home for them. Yeah, we'll sort that out in a minute. But as in, so if you're not going to use them, don't bother. But if you really do want to be involved with them, you're very welcome to have them. I haven't got a power regulator on them, so it can be spare. But the point is, you could start your own gateway. You could attach a solar panel and leave it out in the garden. And that's one of the things I'm quite looking forward to trying out. And this may sound strange, but if we make these nodes independent with solar panels and things like that on them, would be to lose one and then find it some other time later. Because, as I said, I've got one in my garden, been going for the last 6 months. It's been happily transmitting away. If it gets a packet, it repeats it. If it doesn't get a packet, it just carries on doing its thing. I recently moved house, put it out back. I took it out of the garden, put it in a box, put it out back in the garden. About 3 weeks later, I then set up my gateway again, and it was still there, and it picked up and started working again. I appreciate that it's only in my garden and in my house, but the point is that could be somewhere else, and we could find these things again. I can appreciate that's very brave, but it might work. Who knows? I've also got some PCBs and also some radio modules if people want to get hold of them from me, and I can always order some more radio modules if people find it easier just to get them directly from me.